Hello everyone, this is Ashish Sunny from Innovate Yourself. Welcome back to our channel where we empower you with the latest tech knowledge. In today's video, we will be diving into the exciting world of the ESP32 and I will show you how to set up a Wi-Fi connection with ESP-IDF. Whether you are a seasoned pro or a complete beginner, stick around because we are going to break it down step by step. But before we jump into it, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you will never miss out on any future tech tutorials. Alright, let's get started. First of all, let's talk about the ESP32, the powerful microcontroller that becomes a good to choice for IoT projects due to its versatility and the built-in Wi-Fi capabilities. To harness its full potential, we will be using ESP-IDF, which stands for ESP IoT Development Framework. It's an official development framework by ESP, the makers of ESP32, and it makes working with the ESP32 a breeze. Now, before we begin, let's make sure you have everything you need. An ESP32 development board, a computer or a laptop with ESP-IDF installed. If you haven't installed it yet, check out our previous videos for the detailed guide. A reliable USB cable to connect your ESP32 to your system. Once you have all your hardware and software ready, it's time to dive into the code. Don't worry, I'll guide you through it. Alright everyone, so now as we are already done with the setup of your hardware and the software part, so now we can jump further to the coding stuff. And right now you can see on your screen, this is a code which we have covered in a previous video that was for the BLE, right? I hope that was clear to you. But right now we're gonna start with Wi-Fi. So let me first of all give you a short preview or short summary like what exactly we are gonna cover up in today's video, right? So basically now we are gonna start up with the coding, and in the coding part we will be covering up the setting up your Wi-Fi. And setting up of your Wi-Fi is a two-step, or let's say we have two modes which we have available in the ESP32. That is that we can connect your Wi-Fi in the STA mode or AP mode, or there is a third mode as well in which we can connect both of them at the same time. So basically in our today's scenario, we are gonna set up our project, or we are gonna set up our coding in such a way that you will be able to connect your ESP32 as a access point so that anything, or let's say any device, can be connected to ESP32. And secondly, we will also set it up in such a way that it can also connect to a Wi-Fi network if in case you have provided the right credentials. But the process of your ESP32 to connect to some other hotspot or to some other router is just like it's a one-step process. And why it is one-time process? Because when your ESP32 will start in the beginning, at that time it will have the credential that I will provide definitely, and on the basis of that it will try to connect to that. In case it will be able to connect to some network in some particular time, after that if it doesn't connect to that network, you will not be able to like connect it, right? But in case of hotspot, we can do that later on as well, just because your ESP32 will be connected, or let's say that will be exposed as a access point, or you can say as a router. So any device can connect to it, and we will get an IP address generated for that, right? So that was the all thing that we will be covering up today. So now let's not waste time in the explanation, and let's start with the coding stuff so that you will understand like step by step like what exactly we're gonna cover up in today's session, right? And for that, let me open up the code, right? Because currently I'm not gonna start anything like different, right? I'm gonna start with the basic thing. So I'm gonna take an example from the ESP32 examples only, so that I can explain you the steps step by step, right? So for that, let me show you what example I'm gonna open up, right? So just go to files, just open the folder, like which folder we are gonna open, right? So basically, first of all, you need to go to your directory where you have actually installed your ESP32, and where you have actually installed the Express if. where you have all your examples and everything, right? So you can see this is my location where I have my ESP-IDF and all the components, documentations and examples and rest of the dependencies, right? So we have all things over here, and inside this we have this examples. And now when you will scroll down, you will check for this Wi-Fi, and inside this Wi-Fi we have this soft AP underscore STA. So this is that example in which we have all these things set up, right? And I will explain you like everything, like whatever we have in here and whatever is going on in here, right? So we'll see everything, right? Now let me open it up. All right, so you can see the project is open, and I hope everyone have the ESP-IDF installed on your system. In case you don't have that installed, then you can check my previous video where I have explained everything in detail. So you can check that and you can set it up, right? But now I'll start up further, right? So over here you can see like this is the main directory inside which I have the main code and I have the configuration setup and also the CMake list. Right over here we have everything over here, right? Here we have it and here we have it, right? So this is all that we have. Now in here you can see like this is the name of your project, or let's say this is the name of your main file in which you have the code, right? This is what we have mentioned, and this is the main code in which you have everything written for the access point as well as for the station mode, right? And in the CMake list over here we have set up these things, right? And you will have these things clear if you will refer to the previous videos, right? So you can see that. All right, so now let me start with the coding stuff, right? And over here now you can see we have first of all imported all the libraries which are required for this project. And apart from that, now when you will scroll down, we are setting up few things. And in fact you can see like we are setting up like what will be the SSID and password for your STA. STA means when you are going to use your ESP32 to connect to some other network. So basically STA is like your station mode in which your ESP32 will act as a Wi-Fi so that it can connect to any other network, right? And for that you can see here we have used this config underscore ESP underscore Wi-Fi underscore remote underscore AP underscore SSID, and similarly the Wi-Fi, and similarly the number of tries we want to make, right? So this is what exactly we have done. And right now you must be thinking like what are these variables, because basically these are the variables and we don't have any reference for this like inside this directory, right? Or let's say inside this code, but where exactly we have them, right? So this configurations are like the customized configuration variables that we have created, and where exactly we have created those are created inside this, which is kconfig.proj build, right? So this is what we have. Now inside this basically we have set up the example configuration, and I will show you like where you have to open it up, right? And inside this we have simply set up like what will be the SSID, password, your access point channel, your access point station connections. So all these things, all the configurations required for your access point and for your STA configuration, those all are mentioned in here. So the first one is for your access point, second one is for your station mode, right? So we have set up the configurations for both. For access point it is this, and for station point it is this. So main thing that we have to take care is about the SSID and password only. Rest of the things you can keep as it is, right? So you don't have to worry about that. So basically what will be the SSID for your Wi-Fi when you will be using it as your access point, right? So basically your ESP32 I'm talking about. So you will be using it as an access point, and what name you're going to give, right? So in my case I will give it a name as, for example, Innovate, and the password I will set it as yourself, right? So this is what exactly I'm gonna do. So SSID and password, but right now I'm not gonna write up the name over here, right? And by default, if you will not set up any SSID and password for your access point, it will be like my SSID and my password. If you will set up the password and SSID, that will be the one which you will specify, but by default it will be this one, right? And you have the Wi-Fi AP channel, so you have set up the default value for that as 1, and the range for that is between like 1 to 14, so it can be anything, right? You can set it like that. Similarly, the maximum station connections that we can make, so it's like 4 number of connections, and that is a by default value, so you can change it accordingly. Similarly, in the station mode also we have the things SSID and password, so this thing also we can change according to the nearest Wi-Fi or the nearest router available to which your ESP32 can connect to, right? So this thing definitely we have to change, because with these credentials it's not gonna work, right? And accordingly you can set up like what is the maximum number of tries you want to make. After that it will automatically shift to the access point, because that is what we are going to do in today's session, right? So this is what we have, and similarly we have the further configurations, like in what mode you want to use it, right? So this is all about this, right? I hope this configuration setup for your access point and your STA is clear to you. But still, if you're facing any difficulties, you can feel free to leave a comment below. I'll definitely try to get back to you and resolve your problem as soon as possible, right? So you can leave a comment below. Now let's get back to the code. Okay, so I hope now these variables are clear to you, and now you have got an idea what exactly this remote AP SSID and remote AP password is. So this is basically that. Similarly, these are the mode, like in what mode you want to use it, whether in the open mode, whether in the authentication web mode, whether in the WPA PSK mode, WPA 2 PSK mode. So there are different modes in which we have we can use it. Basically, it's like you can say kind of a security levels that we are setting up. So whichever security level you will be using, on the basis of that your ESP32 will be configured, whether for the high security, whether for the open security. So it can be anything, you can set it up accordingly. Similarly, we have the credentials for AP, so those things also you can take from here, right? And these all are also going to come from here, like from here only, right? Now you can scroll down and you can start checking up, but now I'm gonna not gonna start from here, I'm gonna start from the end, because over here app underscore main is the main function for your ESP-IDF, right? So this is the main function in which everything is gonna start from start, right? So basically these two are the initializers, so we have to set it up so that you can make a proper connections, right? So this is what we have to do. And similarly, this is the one NVS flash, this is also the initializer, you have to put that accordingly. But sometimes we get the error, so that's the reason we have put up a condition in case this doesn't work properly, in case the things are not free, at that time you are gonna get some error, and that is how it's gonna work, right? And also it will flush it if in case it's already occupied or something, right? So this is how we can use it. Now after that we are gonna start up this events. So this is the initialization of your event group. So this is what we are initializing, and now after this I'm gonna registering my instance according to the handler. And just because I already mentioned in the beginning that we're gonna create a Wi-Fi handler in such a way that it will handle both the things, for the access point as well as for the station mode. So that's the reason, if you will notice in here, I'm setting up this Wi-Fi event for this Wi-Fi, and ESP event ID for this. Similarly, this got IP according to this. So basically this event handler I'm setting up according to both, according to access point as well as according to the station mode, right? So for that we have this common event handler, which is Wi-Fi underscore event handler. Let me go to this. So this is the function that is created over here, and in this you can see there are 4 conditions. First and second, these 2 conditions we have in here, which are set up for your access point, right? So you can see these 2 are for your access point, so that's the reason you can see the events are AP STA connected, AP STA disconnected. So depending on that we are gonna get up the event handler for them, right? Similarly, the rest of the 2 conditions which we have in here, these 2 are for your station mode. You can see Wi-Fi event STA start and got IP for STA, right? So in this way we have the common event handler for both of them, right? So this is what we have in here, right? And that is what we have done over here, right? So we have registered the event handler. Now after that we are gonna initialize our Wi-Fi. So depending on like how we are gonna use, so that is what we are gonna set. So you can see Wi-Fi mode APSTA. So basically right now what I am setting up is that I am gonna initialize my ESP32 in both the modes, in AP as well as in STA. So basically Wi-Fi underscore mode underscore APSTA is for access point and station mode both at the same time. So this is what we are doing right now, right? So this is what we have done, and after that we are just initializing the variables, or let's say initializing the object for your Wi-Fi initializer and for the station initializer. So this is what we are gonna start, right? So this is what we have initialized over here for the access point and for the station mode, and after that we have simply started a Wi-Fi so that it will work accordingly, because we have already set up like what are the event handler. So this is what we have done right here. So after we will start the Wi-Fi, so what's going to happen is, just because we have initialized it in both the mode, station mode and in the access point mode, now as I already mentioned in the beginning, that firstly when it will start, or let's say when your ESP32 will start, it will first of all try to connect to the nearest router, or let's say to the credentials that you have mentioned for your nearest router. If that network is available, then it will connect to that. In case it is unable to connect, so it will try until the maximum number of retries that you have mentioned. After that, once the connection was not established, even after the maximum tries, then what will happen, it will simply give you a message whether it is connected or whether it is failed, or whether the unexpected event has happened, right? And that is handling over here, you can see, right? So if the event is handled, if it is connected to the network, then it will show you like connected to the AP, and SSID and password for that is something like this, right? Similarly, fail to connect to this, so in this way it is gonna show you like this, right? So this is what is gonna happen, and that is just like in the beginning when you do it for the first time, when you will start the ESP32, at that time it is gonna do that, right? And after that, now what will happen is, it will be started in the access point mode, right? And just because of that, what will happen is, it is always gonna be available to you in the access point mode. Now after that, you can connect your ESP32 from any device, like you can connect multiple devices and you can connect it to the ESP32, and you will see like what connections, let's say what device you have connected to, and once that device is connected, you will get the IP address for that particular device, right? So you can see over here in the station mode, okay, sorry, not this one, this one, right? So you can see when it is gonna connect, so it will show you the IP address for that, right? So this is the way like how it is gonna happen. So this is the complete code that you can see on your screen, and I hope I was able to make you clear about the concept and the functions that is being used over here. But still, if you are facing any difficulties in understanding any of the topic or any of the function which I explained right now, then feel free to leave a comment below. I'll definitely get back to you, right? So now you can see like everything is set up successfully. Now the next thing that I have to do is, I simply have to flash this code. But before flashing this code, I will simply set up the configuration so that I can make it work accordingly, right? So let me open up the terminal first. So you can see I am in this directory right now, right? And as usual, like I have already mentioned in the previous videos as well, when you will open it up, as per MacBook or as per Linux, this is the way like I have to do it, right? So let me do this quickly so that I can start further, right? All right, so this is done successfully. Now I'll simply do it like idf.py, and before building it, the first thing that I have to do is I have to set up the configuration. So you can see the configuration is opened. Now over here, rest of the things you can change, and you know what to change over here, right? Firstly, you have to change the flash, right? So you can change it. You can go to configuration, you can set up the ESP settings, change it to 240 megahertz, and now go to the example configuration, because this is that configuration that we have defined inside this kconfig.proj builds, right? So just open it up. Now inside this, you can see we have created two sections, one for the access point configuration and one for the station mode. In the access point, you can go in here and you can set up what SSID and password you want to set. Like in my case, you can see I've already set it up, and it's Innovate for your SSID, and the password is yourself. So this is what I'm writing in here. Now go back, and also you can see I've set up the AP channel and maximum STA connections, right? So I've set up that either. Just go back now, and in the STA configuration, now here you can set up the SSID and password to which you want your ESP32 to connect to when it will start, right? So this is what you can set up, and accordingly you can see the maximum retries that I have set here is the 5. I want my ESP32 to try 5 times in case it is unable to make the connections. Once 5 retries are over, it should come out. So this is what exactly it should be doing, right? Similarly, you can change the authentication mode threshold. So right now it's PSK, but you can change it to something else as well. It's totally up to you. Now you can go back, and this was the basic configuration that we had to set up, and that's it. Now I will simply exit this, just press yes. Now I will write my next command, and that is to build it. Let's build it first. All right, so the build is successful. Now I can simply do it like idf.py flash, and I also want to start together for this monitor. Just press enter. In case you want to set up the port number, you can specify it like -p and your port number. In case you're using a Windows, your port number will be something like COM1, COM2, COM3, something like that. But if you are a Linux user or if you're a Mac user, your configuration, or let's say your port number, will be something like this: dev/cu dot something like this, right? So it will be something like this, but right now I don't want to type that. I just want my system to find it automatically, right? So just press enter and let it upload the code and to monitor it. All right, everyone, so now you can see the code is uploaded successfully, and right now you can see the serial monitor is something like this, right? And now what exactly I have to do is I just have to connect it to the Wi-Fi network, right? And right now you can see on your screen it is already connected to the Wi-Fi network. And why it is connected by default? Just because you can see over here my hotspot is already running, and this was the credential that I passed in my configuration so that I can make it connect. So you can see the SSID and password are like mentioned over here, right? So this is the way like how it is connected. And apart from that, just because this time we are starting it as STA as well as AP, which is your access point, so that's the reason if you will go to your Wi-Fi and if you will refresh your Wi-Fi networks, you will see like you will get the like ESP32, which you have established as an access point as well. So you will get it as both. So right now you can see the available network. The first one is Innovate. So this is the one, or let's say this is the SSID that I mentioned for my ESP32. So this is the name for that. And also, just because I have written my event handler in such a way that I can make it work in both the forms, like for Wi-Fi STA as well as Wi-Fi AP. So I can make it work for both. So right now it is connected to Wi-Fi network. And apart from that, if I will try to connect my smartphone to my ESP32, which is started as access point, so in that case I will be able to do that either. So let's say the SSID was Innovate, password is yourself. So let me run it now. Now you can see immediately it got connected and I got the IP address, right? So this is what's happening. And now, all right, so that was it from my side for today. I hope I was able to make you clear about this topic, in which I have shown you how to set up your Wi-Fi and how to configure it, whether in the STA mode, whether in the AP mode, or whether in both the modes. So I hope I was able to make you clear on this. So if you have liked this video, do click on the like button, and if you're new to our channel and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, do click on the subscribe button, and also you can press the bell icon if you want to get a notification whenever we'll upload a new video. So that's all from my side for today. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye and happy coding.